Hello everybody, it's Larry and welcome to today's video. This is the third in the intermediate series and we're going to bring you something that I know that you can use. And what we're going to do is we're going to use MyHeritage to validate your family tree. We're going to do what's called the consistency checker, and you can do it even if your tree is on Ancestry or 23andMe or FTDNA, or even on a personal deal like Family Tree Maker 2019, Roots Web, any of those. If you export it to a GEDCOM file and upload it to MyHeritage, then you can run the consistency checker. But since we do most of the stuff with Ancestry, we're going to show you how to do it with your Ancestry tree. Now, if you followed along this week, we built a family tree for family number 2 of my families, and it has a small tree, just 15 people, and we're going to use that for our examples. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here at the top where it says trees, and we'll just look at it real quick. We got this really small tree that's just got 15 people, parents, grandparents, and great grandparents. And then if you haven't watched the videos, you might check them out, and it shows how we got these and how we found them. And what we're going to do is we're going to export those. So we're going to do create and manage trees. So you click on trees, go to the bottom one. It'll always be the bottom of the list if you have multiple trees. Create and manage trees. So come over here, and then again, it'll say manage tree under tools over here on the right. Okay, click on manage tree. Now, if you've already downloaded the GEDCOM file once, this link will remain until you change your tree. It'll just have something that says, download your GEDCOM file. It will spin a little circle here. It'll tell you it's 100%, and then it's ready. Now, right here where it says download tips, see this little down arrow? Anytime you see that on the Ancestry website or on most websites, it means there's a drop down or a pop out. So we click on that, and it says if the file download window does not appear, right click on download your GEDCOM button, select save target as. Okay, so we're going to right click. Now, where it says save target as, there is no save target as. So that's probably a little bit of an error that needs to be corrected on the website there. What it is you want to do save link as. Save link as is what they mean by save target as. So do save link as, click on it, and it will pull this up. And right here, you want to probably use desktop so it'll be easy to find. It says here, recommend desktop. I do desktop. It makes me a cluttered desktop, but I can always know where to look. So it says Jones Family Tree. I'm going to click save, and because I've already done this a couple of times in prep for this, there's one there. I'm going to replace it so that we're all looking at exactly what you would have gotten if you'd done this yourself. Now we're going to go to the MyHeritage website, and it's intermediate, so we assume that you created an account and logged in on your own. And it says create family tree now or import a GEDCOM. Well, I'm going to click on family tree, and right here at the bottom it says import GEDCOM. I'm going to do that because you can always go from the menu option and get this. Now notice there's only 4 options on family tree: my tree, my photos, create a tree, and import. So we're going to click browse, and remember it was Jones, so I'm going to type in J because that'll bring up Jones Family Tree GED because it's a GED file. And I'm going to click upload. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go behind the scenes and it's going to email me when the results are done. Okay, so when the results are finished, and this is a very small file, only 15 people, so it's already finished, I'm going to go back to family tree, and it shows my tree right here. Now we can look at the tree just like it was on Ancestry. Now again, I've said this in a prior video when I was evaluating MyHeritage. I don't like that I can't scroll this left and right, and if I size this down to the size I want, I still can't move it. It's over here on the left side of the screen. And if I go someplace else and come back to the tree, it still oversizes it again. I have to adjust the size. All right, so there's a little bit of an anomaly here. Now there are some nice things here. I get a little bit better editing and some better visuals in this. But when you click the pop out, now it's in the middle, so it is in the right spot. But if you don't have the pop out clicked, it's over here on the left, and there's really not anything you can do about it. Unlike over here on Ancestry, if I look at that tree, I can center it, and if I bring it over to the left, if I go to another page and I come back, it's the same place where I put it. Okay, and also if I change the view to be this view and I come back, and then I come back over here to my tree, it will save the last view that I had. If I change my view here to family view, and then I come over here to home, and then I come back and look at my tree again, it default set view. Now, I can change my default view in the settings, family view, pedigree view. That's not my point. My point is, whatever you were looking at, if you go to another menu and come back, it changes. And that can be a little bit confusing. So don't get confused, and if you want to see it all, you're just going to have to kind of minimize it. So we're not working with it right now in this manner. What we want, remember when I said there was 4 options here? Well, look now, there's a 5th one, and it says more. And we're going to click on where it says more right here. And now we're going to come on down where it says Consistency Checker. Okay, we're going to click on that, and it says alive but too old. Alpha Harbaugh was born in 1907 and is not marked as deceased and is rather old, 112 years old. Tip: mark Alpha Harbaugh as deceased or correct her birth date. So it's saying that she's probably not 112 years old, so it looks to be an error in my file. Well, the error is that she is deceased and I don't have a death date for her, and I don't have her marked as deceased over in the ancestry file. So I will mark her deceased here, but it also tells me, when I come over here, I'll need to, put in a death date, mark her deceased, and act accordingly with this file. So you can do this with your trees from 23andMe, you can do it from FTDNA, you can do it from Ancestry, you can do it with your tree, of course, on MyHeritage. You can do your family tree maker, do an export to a GEDCOM, and come up here and import GEDCOM, and then run the consistency on that tree. So there you have it. That's how you can take and use MyHeritage's Consistency Checker to verify and validate your tree. So even with just 15 people, we found it was a small error, but if we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's and wanting to have a nice, clean, pristine tree, that's exactly what I want. I want to find that information. And notice here, even though we don't have that, it didn't pop up for Leroy David Wright, that's because when we look over here and we do the quick edit, look, he's already marked as deceased. And that's why it didn't, because we'd already marked him as deceased. So he didn't show up and the others didn't show up. Even though we don't have death dates, they didn't show up because we properly had marked them as deceased and we hadn't the other way around. So there you have it. That's how you can use MyHeritage to validate your tree. And if you have a large tree, I will guarantee you it will find a lot of dots to dot and a lot of T's to cross. A lot of things you think you have a pristine tree. I would be shocked that anybody had over 1,000 people in their tree run the consistency checker that they don't find at least a couple of anomalies. Now, one in my large tree, it said the birth year of one of my ancestors was after the death year of a parent, and that's because I put the wrong decade. I had fat fingered it, and so I had put like 1849 instead of 1839, and the consistency checker caught that. And so when I typed it in, I was pretty sure I put in the right date. I was making sure when I typed everything in, everything looked good. But when I put it through the consistency checker, I found that I had not. And so when I went back and I looked at my censuses, looked at my birth, death certificates, the obituaries and probates, I was able to find the correct information, put it back in there and correct it. So run that consistency checker against your tree. I think it will help you immensely in making a good tree. And you can always import it back. Now, if you import it back, it will not have all the stuff tied to it because it's just a simple GED file. So unless you have a lot to work from, then I would probably just simply make the edits back into your major tree. If you have a lot, well, I would still make the edits back to the other tree so you don't have to worry about all the images and sourcing and the other documents that you have. But I would just say I would advise some caution in entering the next piece of information so you don't have that the next time. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, click subscribe. Click the bell notification next to the subscribe button. That's the most important thing. That way, whenever we put out a video, you'll get an email notifying you that we've got a new email or new email out, a new video out for you to watch. And we try to keep them, relevant and helpful. So, if you think that these videos are helping you, then you definitely want to subscribe and click that bell notification. And if they are helping you, consider supporting us on Patreon for the price of 2 cups of coffee per month, or excuse me, per year, which comes out to $1 a month. It does a lot to help. I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but if all 6,000 subscribers were to be just doing 2 coffees a year or $1 a month, I'd be in good shape. Thank you to the 18 patrons that we have right now. I encourage the other 6,000 of you to join them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.